Hey, David, you're on the air.
Hey, Howard.
Hey.
I read this weekend you finally got yourself a little lawsuit going, huh? It's about time.
You know, that was bigger news than I thought. I mean,
yeah, it's been everywhere.
I was watching, like, CNN. Oh, I was watching Fox News. And all of a sudden, along the bottom of the screen, Howard Stern is suing, ABC,
And all the papers have picked it up and put in big articles about it.
Yeah, it's evidently a big deal that I'm suing somebody.
You deserve it. All these years, people have been ripping you off and taking your ideas. You're finally doing something about it.
I never would have done anything about it, except this thing was so blatant. And Scott Einziger, who's worked with me, Scott Einziger, who basically they were going to put on World Wrestling, you remember, to go edit. Not even World Wrestling, some crappy wrestling league. And I fought for him to stay here. I made sure he got money. And this guy was my personal friend, too. I mean, this is a guy who spent entire weeks of vacation with me.
All right.
I mean...
I didn't know that. He went on vacation with you?
He used to come out to my house all the time. When I rented the house out in the Hamptons. He would spend all kinds of time with us. I went out to dinner with him almost at least once a week. I mean, when do I do that with anybody?
All right.
I mean, this guy is a personal friend of mine, or was.
Oh.
And, man, was I fooled by him. My agent said people go out to Los Angeles and they lose all morality.
If you can go out to Los Angeles, you probably have no morality. I've told you, that place is crazy.
Scott and I have worked side by side for, I don't know, I would say, like maybe 15 years. And guy's a personal friend of mine was. He's not anymore. I can't stand him. He showed his true colors, but
for real.
He's somebody I really, opened up to and stuff. And not only that, the guy... I told him a lot of my ideas confidentially and a lot of things, And, and God bless him, he went off to L.A., got a job on Amazing Race, and doing very well. I'm happy for the guy. And lo and behold, I don't know what happened to him.
He kept saying he wanted to work for the networks, and you said, well...
I said,
how are you going to do that?
I thought it was kind of strange, too, because if the guy had any good ideas, how come he never brought them to me? I had a production company.
Well, I always used to say it to him
you're the one
here.
with all the ideas.
Yeah, I'm the one with all the ideas.
I used to say it to him right here. He used to say, I want to be a producer. I said, well, if you've got ideas, why don't you take them to Howard?
Well, what's really funny is when Scott was leaving, he was going to go do Amazing Race.
Yeah.
So I said, great. I said, but, in order to become a producer, executive producer out in Hollywood... They're just having you edit Amazing Race. You've got to have an idea and sell it to the network. You've got to have a really...
create a show.
You've got to create a show. And he was like, well, don't worry about that. And I was just like, well, gee, I don't think he can create a show because the guy's never once brought me an original idea. He's good at editing and watching me do my show. So, lo and behold, the guy gets to be executive producer by taking one of my ideas. And I'm like, what the hell? That really freaked me out, and I wasn't even going to sue. Because you know me, I don't want to sue anybody.
You were sort of sitting there and taking it.
And really, it's Telepictures, ABC, Scott Einziger, and the great Mike Fleiss, who calls here every week looking for me to do something with him. And, and every minute calling here how I'm the reason he got into the business. He's been listening to the show his entire life. I'm like, well, great, but maybe we'll do something someday. I don't know. You're such an innovator.
They did it without you.
Yeah, it's exactly what they did.
He doesn't need you now. He's got Scott.
Well, they all said that it's a little expensive to get me on board, so why don't we cut me out? Well, fine, cut me out, but don't use my ideas. I mean, the show was, identical.
It was the segment that we did here.
So I called Lloyd and, the head of ABC, who used to be my lawyer. This gets even worse.
It's
Scott used to be my friend. Yeah, I mean, he used to be my lawyer, and actually Lloyd didn't even know what the hell they were creating because Mike has a history with The Bachelor, right. So they were like, okay, we'll take your next show. And when Lloyd finally saw the show, which is when I called it to his attention, he goes, oh my God, it's an exact replica of your show. And Lloyd's the only one trying to settle this thing out because he knows I was stolen from. Lloyd said to me, you've been stolen from. He agreed with me. He feels bad for me. But Telepictures is busy saying, hey, let him sue us. Hey, so what? Let him sue us.
Well, I hope
that's
we
might win.
That's the way they do business. And Scott Einziger is the worst because He should have called me up and said, you know something? When I served him with a lawsuit, he should have said, I want to testify for you. I feel terrible. I stole your idea. But imagine he's not doing that. He's pretending. We got tape that it's the exact same show that I've had on the air for 10 years on E.
There's plenty of evidence.
And I had finally spun out and sold to another network. I sold it to Showtime, okay? Here, I'll be honest. And they called me up and said, forget it. We don't want to look like we're stealing. Right. I go, no, you don't understand. I tell you, I'm livid over the whole thing. And so finally, I said, you know what? I gotta sue.
Good.
I mean, I don't even want to.
Because now you're being accused of stealing your own material.
Yeah. I said, once I started getting accused of stealing my own material, and plus I got to admit, the thing with Scott really drove me over the edge. Not only did they take my idea, it's basically a corporate raid. They took Scott, and they even hired Jackie.
They hired Jackie as a consultant.
Yeah, a consultant. I mean, and then they got the nerve to tell me they didn't steal my show. I mean, at some point, I tell you what, I'm sick over it because they really. It would be nice if they did the right thing and just said, you know what, let's settle this out and admit that there was.
We did the wrong thing.
We did the wrong thing, but they'll never do that.
But let me ask you something: does it ever cross your mind that Scott was drawn into something that he didn't realize was going to be a blatant ripoff?
He knew, Robin.
Oh, come on.
Well, I'm just asking.
What, you mean he's working on a show and he doesn't know what's going on?
Who knows what Fly said to him before he...
So what? You leave. You say, wait a second, you're stealing...
I'm just asking if...
Howard's my man. He's supposed to say, Howard's my man. I worked with him. I can't do this.
Of course. I mean, when would you ever do that?
Jackie, but Jackie doesn't...
Well, we expect that from Jackie.
I mean, Jackie... I mean, how could you do this? Oh, Scott explained that to somebody through an intermediary. Really? He goes, well, I just felt bad for Jackie because he's down on his luck. I go, down on his luck? He's got 5 houses. How is he down on his luck? He's down on his luck because he left here. What?
He'll do anything to get back at you.
I guess.
He probably thinks it's like your fault he's not on the show.
Yeah, of course.
Well, it's his own fault.
Yeah. And Scott knows the whole history there.
Scott said he's doing Jackie a favor by hiring him for the ripoff show.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right, well, good luck, Howard.
Thanks.
All right.
Jeez.
I tell you, I'm seething over it. You know what I'm seething about? Because I would have picked up the phone if I was Telepictures and Mike Fleiss and Scott Einziger. I would have picked up the phone and said, you know what, we did the wrong thing. That's what I would do. I would say it. We did the wrong thing, and we want to work it out.
Before they did anything, they should have been on the phone to you saying, look, this is what we want to do.
Oh,
come into it.
Well, I used to get calls from Mike Fleiss's office all the time, but I think they all decided that the problem is I actually want to be paid.
So what? It's your idea.
It doesn't. That's not the way it works.
Get paid for it like it's theirs. That's what I'm saying. If you had any integrity.
I guess Mike's in a panic because now all of a sudden he's got to come up with more shows, and it's like I got to get him from somewhere. But you know what? Maybe if they had used a different brand of laser pointer, I could have even dealt with it. But I mean, it was like, I mean, it's just unfreaking believable. And not only that, they did the show badly. So now my deal with Showtime was dropped.
You know, a lot of people, too, when they found out you were going to do your own version of the show, really got mad that they got to miss that. Right. Actually, I was talking to, Frank Sebastiano, that kid. He had a great line. When he found that out, he goes, now I want to sue somebody.
Yeah, because he was ripped off.
Yeah, because we didn't get to see that show.
Well, I mean, the point of the show was it was a bunch of ugly guys all sitting there evaluating people, and who have no right to be evaluating.
Right.
You don't put Lorenzo Lamas on there.
Who wants to see that
idiot? He's pretty.
And a model, and it was just ridiculous. They had no reason to be there.
And plus the show's about humiliation. But, what am I going to tell you?
Yeah, they changed it completely. Now it's the Miss America pageant.
Well.
With a laser pointer.
Yeah, well, they took the whole thing, but somehow...
The essence wasn't there.
Well, that's the great producer. Went off to Hollywood to be his own man.
He missed that part of it when you were laying it out for him?
Yeah, I guess. I guess he didn't learn everything.
Didn't quite get the concept.
John, you're on the air.
Well, if it isn't Mr. Let's kill all the lawyers.
Yeah, I know. I need a lawyer now, and I'm busy suing someone. I know. Hey, John, I'll be honest with you. I don't like suing people. I have been in a million situations similar to this where I've just said, forget it. I'm not going to be a big ass about it. That's the way it goes. But how could I ignore this?
I don't think you could.
I couldn't. Well, I told you that there are some good lawyers, and it just so happens they're the ones that work for me.
Well, if I need one, I know who to call.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thanks, Howard.
He's right.
Sometimes you got to do it.
Sometimes you got to.
But that was the whole point, that you don't sue for everything, but you do sue when it's really necessary. Unfortunately, everybody sues now for no good reason.
Yeah, well, I had to get a lawyer, and I had to do it. I mean, what are you going to do? And believe me, it's going to cost me a lot of money to go through with this. But I mean, at some point, I got to just say something. I mean, it's crazy.
Well, you've definitely got to say something to these people, especially.
Yeah.
Because they've been your confidant.
Mm. Well, yeah. And confidentiality agreements were signed and all kinds of things. It's just ridiculous. It's a big joke. Big joke. It hurts. I tell you what, it hurts. It hurts on a personal level because I don't really trust too many people, and I don't really invite too many people to my home. And because I don't know what happened to me in my life. I don't trust anyone, and I don't like anyone. When it comes right down to it, I know once you get close to someone, they will burn you. And I know that's wrong. And I know most people aren't raised that way, but that seems to be my problem in life.
There's nothing wrong or right about it, but your psychiatrist would tell you, then you will live into that.
Right.
If that's your belief system, you will make it come true.
And one of the ways I opened up was to befriend Scott, because I like Scott.
That is your choice of person, and you have to ask yourself, why did you make that choice?
Wouldn't you have bet on Scott, though? As a friend? Seriously. Did you think Scott was a good guy? Be honest.
I used to think there were a lot of questionable things about him.
Really?
Yeah.
Like what?
It's sort of the thing about, how he, who he chooses.
Mm-hmm. Well, gee, then you saw it coming. I didn't. Yeah, I thought he was a good guy.
I'm not saying he's a bad guy.
I am.
I think, like Scott, some things are very important to him that might not be important to you, and he might do anything to get them.
Yeah. Well, I see what you're saying by his choices.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should have been hip to that. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Well, I would have done anything for that guy.
Well, you did. You gave him a whole...
I gave him a whole life.
You didn't know you were doing it.
Yeah, I guess.
You did.
I guess when you get out to L.A., you got to be a big player some way. Got to do it. Got to be a big player. Got to get in the game. Got to get in the business. It's crazy. Yeah, Mike. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Howard.
Hey, what's up?
Well, I've been listening to what you said and, how you don't trust people and everyone's burned you and stuff. And
No, I do trust people. And let me tell you something. It's not going to ruin my... I've been doing much better with this therapy and everything, but I tell you what, it did freak me out a lot. To the point that even my daughter came up to me because she saw how upset I was, and she says, Dad, is this going to set you backward? Because she sees the differences in me. I said, no. I'm not a complete idiot. I know that bad things happen sometimes between people, but I could never forgive him.
I sympathize with you. I truly do. This is one issue where I'm not BSing you, but what's the worst thing that anyone's ever done to you? Because the way you talk about it makes it sound like something really bad has been done at some point, and I don't know what it is.
I'm not going to get into it, but...
I mean, even anything. It doesn't have to mean in general.
No, he's saying, where did the original lack of trust come from? What trauma?
I don't know. I don't even know. I can't even figure it out. It's just the way I am. I'm not a very trusting guy, so I'm not even sure. I mean, that's why,
But I think that maybe was the lesson you learned in your family, that nobody could be trusted.
Well, I wasn't going to get into it.
Oh, sorry.
But what I'm saying is, it doesn't seem like you've ever been abandoned or like ever had anything like truly terrible happen.
Yeah, listen, dude, listen.
I'm not criticizing.
I'm fine. I'm not sitting there whining. I'm just saying I had to sue someone, and that's it.
I mean, I think it's a weird world when people that you, like that Scott Einziger, you can now trust less than like a Melrose Larry Green or name anyone of 1,000 people.
I wouldn't equate Melrose Larry Green with Scott Einziger. Scott Einziger was one of my close friends.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is all these other people who've been looked at as being kind of weird and out there and wacko, in essence, have a deeper affection for you than people who maybe were in the most inner circles. That's what I'm saying.
You know what? You're right. That might be very true.
I don't know if you could necessarily say that either.
What are you saying, Robin? Melrose would screw me?
Melrose has had his moments.
Yeah, actually, Melrose has had moments where he has screwed me.
Yes.
Howard, I just want to say, I'd never screw you. You know that.
No, it's fine. Listen, the lawyers will handle it, and we'll see what happens.
I have one last question that also. Did your parents, disinherit you because they thought your sister needed the money more than you or something?
No, nothing like that.
Okay, maybe I got it wrong because I remember a while back you wanted someone to leave you money in their will, so I thought maybe it had something to do with that.
No, I just want more money.
Oh, okay. Excuse me, my bad.
All right, take care.
Good luck.
No, my parents have actually said to me that it is a sin if you have a will and you have like 2 kids, 3 kids, whatever it is, and you give one child more than the other, because that child will remember that the rest of their lives. Some parents play that game with their kids. I'm going to give this one more or this one less. Right,
they divvy it out different ways because of various things they feel about their children.
Yeah, and that's screwy. Or sometimes they even go, you know what? Gee, this one doesn't need the money, that one does. So their heart's in the right place, but meanwhile, the one who gets left out gets real angry. I know someone like that. Mother died. Father was already dead. There was some inheritance there. Not a fortune, but a nice hunk of dough. Mm-hmm. At the time that she wrote her will, the one guy, there was 2 brothers. One of the brothers worked the lady, like, before she died. Worked the mother, I need the money, I'm broke, he's fine. Meanwhile, the other guy wasn't that fine. Uh-huh. And she was old and she needed help, so she changed her will over.
To keep him there.
Yeah, and now the other son is freaked. Hey, Jeff.
Hi, how are you?
Hey.
Listen, Robin just said before you were talking about the show that the show is completely different, and you're going to ruin your lawsuit by saying all these things. So
she's not saying it's different.
No, I'm saying they screwed up the concept. They screwed it up so it's not.
Yeah, but you know how lawyers are.
Well, that's fine. Let them do what they want. I'll go into court and what they did was they put it on and took every element of it, but then I think chose the wrong people to be the judges.
Right.
I think if they had done it a different way, it would have been. I think it could still be a huge hit, but no one will let me produce it now because of the crap way they handled it.
I totally agree with you, but then you got people like
they took the exact format, the exact show, the exact everything.
They even say some of the same things.
Yeah, and somehow lost the spirit of it.
That's probably why with the celebrity one, they parts of it was different than the
We
Survivor.
used celebrities too. I used to use Snoop Dogg. I used everyone. I mean, it's the same exact show. It's ridiculous. And what's different about it is somehow they lost the spirit because you got guys who aren't.
And again, the bottom line is
I was going to be the host of it.
And again, it ruins your reputation for future shows.
Well, all I know is I'm telling you I had a deal and it got dropped. That's the bottom line. John, go ahead. You're on the air.
Yeah, Howard, you're going to win this lawsuit. You're going to win. You should be in a good mood because you got the money coming. You deserve it.
Yeah, who knows what I got coming. Yeah, you should see what it costs to sue people. That's why I'm saying, if this guy's my friend, let him come over and admit it like a man and be done with it.
Oh, that's a personal hurt, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Personal hurt, but you're going to make the money.
All right,
you got it.
It's not even about the money. I mean, it is, but I don't know.
But not suit money.
I would have liked to have gotten the show on the air my own way. Yeah. Chauncey, you're on the air.
Hey, Howard, I don't mean to make your morning any worse than it is, but I'm watching the Man Show last night, and wherever it lands, you got to do something sexual.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, people just pick and choose from the show, and I never sue over it, but this time I had to. I mean, it was a direct rip, and it cost me a lot of money.
But, you know, I have a question. And
I heard they use the hidden scale, too, but... Hello?
Hey, Howard?
Yeah, on the main show we have.
Oh, hold on a second. Something weird going on here. Hold on. None of the phones hang up. Hello? Yeah. Yes.
I'm still here.
Go ahead.
I have a question. And I totally agree with you. I think what Scott did was horrible. But here's my question. When you play a game like a knockoff of, like, what's that Regis Philbin who wants to be that millionaire game?
Right.
Isn't it somewhat similar? And I'm just playing a devil's advocate.
No, it's parody. First of all, we don't actually play Millionaire.
And we called it Turkish Millionaire. It was a goof.
We goof on it. We do lots of parody. Saturday Night Live does parody. We all do parody. The point is, I'm not going out and I had finally spun out one of these shows, and these guys lifted the whole show. It's one thing to parody a show on radio and say, hey, let's play Millionaire, but you don't start to make a living off of doing just that. Yeah, if I played it every day and just had a radio show called Millionaire, I think they would sue me, and rightly so.
Right.
Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Look how many guys on the radio do my show every day. I can deal with all of it. I'm rather proud of the fact that I've influenced so many people, but the bottom line is this was completely different. This is just taking a show and lifting it and making a big network deal. What do you think? I wouldn't like to do business with ABC and put it on the network?
But you know what makes it worse? For people in the inner circle kind of know you and knew Scott, the relationship, because I know Scott was a good friend of yours, and I mean, the guy loved you. I mean, Yeah.
He loved me, but he didn't have any problem picking my pocket. So
that's what makes it so sad.
All right, whatever. I don't even want to talk about it anymore.
All right,
no more talk about it.
All right, bye.
All right. Believe me. And I heard the explanation already. He says, I have to do what I have to do. I have to make a living. And I'm like, well, you were making a living. What good is making a living like that? Screwing your friends over. What is that? Robert, hi.
Hey, good morning, Howard.
Hey.
Listen, I'm a fan of yours, but I'm telling you, 100% of the times you deal with Jews, it's all about the money. Now, what kind of man are you to have your daughter tell you, this is not going to set you back, Daddy? You only got $100 million. You're not going to have $105 million.
Come on, Howard. It's not about the money. It's people's property.
It's about control. You have to control everyone around you, Howard.
No, I don't.
Yeah, come on, Howard. Here's Artie. He's in the business. Don't Jews have to come in to any movie set or anything? Hey, Howard, I like you, but these are facts. You're an honest guy.
Yeah, you grew up the way I grew up, man. I worked for everything I got.
No doubt.
Why don't you come up with an idea and have somebody steal it from you?
Okay, well, why do you take the facts personal? The facts is that Jews are all about the money.
Shut up. Such an ass. He's just trying to get airtime. I know that guy. Just being an ass.
I wish I could understand his point. I just couldn't get it.
The Jews are all about the Jews got enough problems. What the hell's wrong with you?
What Jews are he doing?
Who knows? Who even knows? He's just trying to be funny. Just being an ass.